We give meaning to so much. We define them, we try to make sense of them so it can help navigate, clarify, and experience. We give meaning, we give purpose, we give substance to emotions even. So take anger, joy, take anxiousness, worry, and delight, excitement, thrill. Now, inherently, naturally, there's always been feelings, there's always been a sense in knowing. And while having the human experience, you feel these feelings, right? That in language we call emotions. But there was a quote unquote time where these very feelings had no name. They had no actual written definition, and it was simply felt. They were all simply felt. And everyone was pretty much going about on their knowing, on their instinct, right? Their primal sense of self, going on what they were feeling. And I reckon that it was even, or there was a fine line between anxiousness and excitement, because the sense of thrill and the sense of worry, believe it or not, there's a real fine line, or shall I say the lines even blur. So you could say once upon a time it was all just in the sense, in the feeling, and acting upon those feelings. It was all about that, acting upon those feelings, upon those senses that one felt, right? They didn't know that, oh, this implies that, or this implies this. Oh, so if I'm feeling this way, then I should hold on to this feeling, I should grasp it enough to do something about it. Or I don't want this feeling to go. Again, grasping enough to not let that feeling go, because you feel that if you let that feeling go, it might imply something else. You see what I'm getting at, right? And so there wasn't so much, if at all, any sort of dictation as there is now than there was then. I'll go so far to say that there was almost practically none. All that was there was everyone feeling these feelings, knowing that something is discomforting, something is disconcerting, something is feeling unpleasant, something that they feel is a bit unsettling. And it either needed to be transmuted, it needed to be shifted. And on the other hand, those feelings of, wow, well, this feels good. I'm really liking how I'm feeling right now. Okay, so we're talking satisfaction, we're talking joy, we're talking pleasure, we're talking excitement. But again, who's to say, perhaps even rage or whatever else in that spectrum that everyone felt back then, perhaps it wasn't as, don't know if I should use the word driven, but perhaps it wasn't as, again, it wasn't infused with the kind of meaning, it wasn't infused with ego, right? There was no implication, there was no connotation, there was no nothing of that sort. And so it was, I would reckon it was different, and no, I'm not talking about the period when there were all those supposed battles and everything that was taking place, and conquering nations, and I'm not even talking about that period. I'm talking about the instance of when even language was, well, not invented. So it's all in the knowing. There's power in the knowing. And so what this brings me to say is that because there's so much connotation, right, that this implies something negative and this implies something positive, and then based off of that we make choices, right? So this can range from small to big choices in our day-to-day experiences. You might make a certain choice if you feel a sense of dread, a sense of fear, or when your ego kicks in, a sense of pride, a sense of anger, rage. You'll think differently, you'll choose differently, and you will do the same with all the positive spectrum of emotions, as we know. And they're constantly, right, this knowing via language, via definitions, via labels, via meaning, via implications. It's almost like, in a way, painting our choices on this canvas of life, if you will. And so when you wake up to this, when you take notice, when you are aware of all this, it really shifts things, because you realize that, wow, it's very intricate indeed, but it's also very simple. And it only gets or feels complex when all of these things that have been put forth are implemented. And it feels so effortless and natural that they're implemented, because it's been going on for such a while. That's the only reason it feels that way. But I'm here to tell you that all of that is not natural. It's quite the opposite. It's quite the contrary.